Hello, hello, hello. It's later in the day than I want it to be. Here I am, semi-professionally dressed. If I get myself to a place where my bed is not my background, then maybe I'll dress up like this all the time. That'll be really annoying. However, all right, so a while back, I'd been watching a bunch of podcasts on Mondays. Like Hollywood Babylon and Indoor Kids actually come out on Mondays because Hollywood Babylon is recorded live on Friday, and then it gets released, if it's going to be released, Sunday night, Monday-ish. Indoor Kids, they release off Nerdist.com. But like, if you catch things live on Twitch or Rooster Teeth, then Rooster Teeth puts them out Mondays and Wednesdays. But if you catch the YouTube releases, it's... I guess it is Tuesday and Friday. I don't know why the patch takes longer. But the patch does the Video Game Book Club as well. And then the Kind of Funny guys release 2 podcasts on Friday. Which, the scheduling of that does not make any fucking sense to me. But I'm not in charge. I would really love it if Tim moved Gamecast to release on Mondays. And then, I don't know. But I don't like the day-by-day format either. But I only watch the long formats. But then Jim Sterling's comes out, and that's on SoundCloud. It doesn't come out on YouTube. He should just be releasing that on YouTube, but I guess that would hurt his SoundCloud number. I don't fucking know. I would just like all my stuff. Oh, and then the Co-optional podcast. If you catch that, it's it's Tuesday. That's right. It's normally Tuesdays. I think the Co-optional land is the same day. And then if you don't, and then that's released Thursday or Friday, depending on when they have time, if they're going to release it. So, like, a lot of stuff happens on Friday. I realized I'd missed last Friday because I ran out of time to listen to things. And I didn't pick up on it when I came back on Monday because I listen to podcasts, like, while I'm at work. Because it really helps me get through the day without issues. That's not true, but... so, like... I went through so much Kind of Funny. So, and then they had their Kind of Funny live last week or the week before too. So I had to go through that. So there was a lot of that going on. So just churning through podcasts. I'm trying to catch up because normally I don't end up watching On the Spot, which comes on live on Rooster Teeth on Fridays. But I normally don't watch it until like Sunday or Monday, just because when I get around to it. And then at some point during the week, I haven't nailed down when, Joel and Adam do how-tos, where they each play. They literally, I just happen to have a controller here, like Joel or Adam, I think, plays this side, and then, Adam plays this side because he had to do the thing, and then Joel plays this side. And it's ridiculous that anyone would ever play 2 people, 1 controller. 2 guys, 1 con. So it's really entertaining. Plus, they're both good personalities. But like, I'm actually in the middle of that right now, and they're doing like their own home. It's actually very interesting if you like watching. I don't watch a lot of video games anymore, but like, they're actually the one that I go and try to watch. So there's that. So that's YouTube. I just had YouTube up to remind me to talk about that. Over on Rooster Teeth, Red versus Blue, shit has hit the fan. Again, these are like 10-minute episodes. I don't want to spoil things, but like, things have gotten really intense. Talking to Santa is good stuff. You knew that would be promising. Locust and Felix, they're assholes that are always one step ahead. You know that. So every time you're like, every other second, you're like, when's the other shoe going to drop? But there is a very special guest that comes in. I think he introduced in season 9 or 10. But it's really cool to see him come back, and it's really interesting that he's just got it on for Carolina. But I can't wait to see how that particular issue gets resolved, because when you're dealing with things that are going to change the fate of the entire world, it's interesting to see what choice you make. Does the one death for the many lives, does that work out? Or the many deaths for the entire planet? And they haven't really talked about like the population on the planet, so I don't know what that's like. I was actually kind of under the impression that everybody on the planet was militarized one way or the other, but who knows? And of course, on the spot, Barbara Lunkerman and her sweetums, Aaron something, and his eyebrow cam. Like I'm really wanting to talk here. I don't have as good control. I don't know. And I'm not this tall or whatever either, but gives me hope. And Rye Singer should actually wear those sunglasses all the time. Somebody put sunglasses on during the intro when he has to talk and he can't stop. So they kind of, if they're assholes, they kind of have free reign over them. But I think you should wear those all the time. John, you look like a badass. Whatever. And Barbara, beautiful as always. And I'm really starting to like, damn, I always forget his name. I feel bad. It's Joel's partner, because it was Joel and Jeremy. I think it's Jeremy. I don't do Achievement Hunter so much. So I don't know. God, and they don't have like credits on here. Okay. Jeremy, yes. I was right. Hulu has dried up. The well has dried up with all the season finales happening. The only thing that I saw that was here, apparently I do remember I did watch Switched at Birth season finale. I've got to reassess Pretty Little Liars, because I'm fairly certain I watched all of that too, but like I just didn't watch it in a while, so I'm like missing it. But Melissa and Joey, writer, I don't know where the fuck he got any ambition or seriousness at all, but he's dead set and going into the Navy. And Mel's going baby crazy, even though she doesn't have one. It's one of those shows that's perpetual, and the season end is more of like, just, well, this is what you're gonna deal with next year, and less of like, oh, here's your big finale or whatever. So it's touching family stuff, and either Ryder will wash out or he won't, and he'll be back next season or he won't. I'm really hoping Joey's daughter manages to come back in the picture somehow, because she was lots of fun. And with girl in college, I expected her to be moving out of the picture, and it would end up being Melissa, Joe, and Joe's daughter. But with Cranky Lady off the road and girl Zoe, no, I can't remember her name. Her coming in or staying home and going to college, I have no idea what's going on. So I went back and I caught up on some TV series before we get over to HBO. Young and Hungry. I talked about this last week or the week before. Definitely check the show out. It's got a little bit of something for everyone. I actually really like it. It's another ABC Family series, and it seems to be my jam, because Switched at Birth, Selfie, apparently. Oh no, it's related. Never mind. But Switched at Birth, Pretty Little Liars. Now I'm curious who did do Selfie. Oh, it was ABC. So sad that didn't last. It's actually really good. But season 2 was chock full of good stuff, and of course a lot of ducking and dodging around, like, oh, will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they. Unfortunately, oh no, I apologize. It says 2014 dash, so that means it could be picked up for season 3. It's just not on IMDb yet. I have things open and prepared this time. I don't remember some of these episodes. Why do I not remember some of these episodes? Oh, that's concerning. Maybe I didn't watch everything, but I remember it coming to a very fitful end. Because of course they do some way somehow, but the path there is not the best. It's really not. Yeah, I definitely did not see all of season 2. Sorry, I'm checking notes and things. No, see, Young and Part 2. What? There's like a whole season 3 almost. Because season 2 is listed at 21 episodes. I've seen through episode 10. And that's what's there. So I don't know what's up with the second half of season 2. But that was a definite end at episode 10. So I don't know. Not end, but like it was a finishing of a story arc, which is always good that they do that. So maybe either, I don't know. I would love to watch those episodes, though. I'll have to see if I can't find them. It's interesting. The availability of some things is befuddling. Especially when people want to spend, I never understand when people want to spend money to see your stuff and then you say no. I don't understand that at all. Falling Skies. I don't know if it was recent or not, but I know this was on my catch-up list, and I just want to mention again what a fun, wonderful series this is, and the ending of season 4 left me thinking that like that was it, but there is a season 5 coming. IMDb has 10 episodes listed. And I'm willing to say that this is where we finally hit it, and we see who the Ishveni have been trying to battle, because there's the Volge and the humans that have been fighting the Ishveni, but we know that there are other things afoot in the galaxy. The Ishveni came to Terra to use the humans to do something. It's very unclear what it is. So there is probably something coming to exterminate the Ishveni, and when they don't find the Ishveni, they find the Terrans. What are they going to do? I'm really looking forward to this. It's gonna be so awesome. Okay, Louis. I'm gonna say again, Louis. Is it season 5? Is that what we're on? I guess season 5. Like, we start out really rough because the last season ended all with him getting with Pam, and like basically all your dreams came true. So I was even surprised there was a season 5. But he starts out, he looks like he's single again. He's trying to reach out and get involved and deal, not necessarily like find someone to get with, but just people to talk to and have friends. And that does not work out because he's an asshole. Partly because he's an asshole, partly because other people are assholes. Fried chicken. But I thought the end of it was really funny, where like it was actually really sweet, and then it was really funny, where he's talking to this pregnant lady. They end up getting it on, and then he induces labor, because that's one of the ways you do it. And she's just fucking miserable, and her parents, or the parents she's surrogating for, aren't treating her as if she's human. So good on Louis. I'm like that he tried to sub everything where he didn't have sex with her, and then she was like, "Oh yeah, this is happening." Pam's kind of an emotionless bitch. I know that's the character, and she's cute, but not like, that's all sorts of fucked. I don't know. And then the cop storyline. Oh my god, I can't imagine like someone losing their gun. He had every right to act like a crazy person like that. Okay, Bobby's. I wanted like an episode about his brother. I really did, but like the way it changed up, blew my mind, because there's a thing where like the woman was assaulting him. He could have done anything with that. They could have changed it into like a romantic story arc. It's like, oh, it's a funny story. It's like, oh, well, we met 'cause she beat me up. Ha ha ha. No. Like, it could have changed it into like a good self-defense, like strategic thing. Like, no. It's like they made the joke he got beat up by a girl, and then with Pam they went way crazy. Like, it was like, what's the craziest shit we could write for this? And that's fine. And whatever you do in your bedroom is your business. Enjoy. I'm not even saying that part was bad. Just way out of left field. Very uncharacteristic for Louis, which was part of the point. Actually kind of makes sense for Pam a little bit. But dumping him right after that was kind of fucked up. And I'm sorry if that was a spoiler. I know you're orange. It's horrible. It's horrible being orange. It's horrible being orange. Yes, it is. I have no idea why you would ever title something untitled. That's just the most fucked up thing you could possibly do. Though that was fucking amazing. The nightmares he was having, that guy that kept licking him, that was a fantastic. And then at some point in all that, oh geez, like half of you just fell off. Did you just fart on me? Fucking cat. We're brushing you. I don't care if you don't like it. Yeah, and that's the same episode where he takes Jane to the doctor, and Jane's like telling the doctor all this stuff that she should be telling a psychologist, about like life and everything. And then at some point, like, she mentions about like not having friends, how like her classmates hate her. It made me really feel for Jane, because I think she's by far the more interesting of the two daughters. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, the road. That was fucked up, but I was on Louis' side all the way till he fucking cracked. Because fuck that other guy. Fuck that owner. And I don't care if people aren't laughing at it. You go and you do your bit. You hold to. And if people don't like your shit, they shouldn't be hiring you. And they shouldn't be going to see you. Just a fact of it. I don't understand how, like, you go, oh, I need a comedian, and like you get someone who's big and you're willing to pay them big bucks, but then you've never seen or heard anything they do. It's and then you get upset because you didn't know. Especially the thing with the suit, like that should all been in contract. Like, no, you fucked up, owner. Okay, and apparently, yes, this is on Amazon Prime. Defiance. I watched like half the season, I think, as it was coming on Hulu, and then they locked it because they're idiots. And then I picked up If you could see her through my eyes, I think that's where it was. Um, Defiance is a fucking spider's web of different story arcs just woven together. If you were to, if I were to show you Defiance materialized, the story arcs make a basket. It's just how it is. Because like almost every different race has some kind of story arc, whether it's one character, depending on one character or not. And then you have all the inner species stuff. Then you have the stuff that's the main storyline that doesn't have it, that has to do with like the world. And so the big theme here is that what's her name, Orisa, is being controlled. She's essentially infected by a computer virus that wants to destroy the world. And she gets pretty close before they get the countermeasures in place. The indigen and like all the crimes start coming out, which was really nice. The people for Kenya and like the doctor, all her shit, like all that starts coming to light, and they sift through that, and that's really good. It really feels like Nolan's the only sane person, him and Tommy maybe, but Tommy's mad at him. And I really like Bellinger, and she's of course the cutie patootie of the show, but like post-apocalyptic relationships are weird. Like I like that there's a brothel. If you're into that, you're into that. Great. Then there's the whole thing with Treasure Doll. Like we knew that was coming sooner or later because you can't. The oh God, it's so hard to remember who is the Calthraki. I don't Castavan. The Castavans are like sociopathic by nature, and like you're not lying unless you get caught. That's the social acceptance there. So the whole human marrying into a Castavan family, like you get her acting very sociopathic, and you get a little bit of sympathies going towards the human, but very much she just kind of like twists and twists. It's really creepy. Maybe the Castavan baby is infecting her. Like there's been like allusions to that here and there. What we really need to get into that we didn't get into enough for my taste is the Voltanis Collective. The Voltanis Collective is an association of Voltanis and humans that have decided to live outside of human law and human whatever together. And there's stories that they're actually living very peaceful, where it's not dealing with the Earth Republic. And Defiance actually had to fight. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. They had to fight off something on their own before the Earth Republic got there. But like the Earth Republic and the Voltanis Collective are very much at war. Let's see. And then we've got new characters that actually come in that make it very interesting. But the way it ends, and I'm trying not to spoil shit, but like still talk about things. Obviously, the spots with Kenya are the most interesting. And I can't spoil that at all. But all the stuff that centers around her is really interesting. But not concentrating on pair bonding people. There was a scene where like one of the officers, one of the sergeants was trying to execute prisoners because he was panicking, and then Berlinger came in and told him off, and then he attacked her and put her on the fucking firing line. So like that was a crazy thing. That actually made me sick. It's like, how do you expect to get away with that? Like when all this is said and done. But the way they ended the show, they ended the show with Orisa and Nolan compromised, like heavily, and that's the way I'm going to phrase it: compromise. So like There is a season 3 coming, but I have no idea what they're going to do with it. Wrapping up the story arc with the ship and the keys, and then the way they left Nola and Arissa. I don't know if the video game's still going on, but fuck me. Okay, and then Elementary. This is the last show I got to talk about before I go to HBO. I watched like the first 3 episodes of this like years ago when they were current. I think that's right. First 2 episodes. And then I watched everything else recently. They're poking fun at Anonymous. Actually really friendly, not really like anything mean, which is nice. Mycroft gets back in the mix. Holmes actually, there's actually like a story arc missing here at some point. And it's actually between seasons. I'm sorry. Is that right? Oh, that's right, because okay, yeah, because actually Watson actually grows around something that like I don't think ever actually happened in the books, and forgive me, I never finished my Chronicles of Sherlock Holmes. Like Watson gets treated as an equal person, but not quite an equal detective. We'll say that because he's always trying to help Watson, but Watson never goes off and becomes a detective in his own right, whereas Lucy Liu's Watson does. And Holmes actually ends up taking a trip away towards the end of this. So it's actually, you actually see some definitive split. With Watson being a female, like you could very much put a dalliance between them. Lots of potential romance, sexual tension, whatever you want to say for that. But Watson was always very good for Holmes, and whether or not they were ever romantic, or it was never made clear she needed that from him. He definitely needs her in his life. That's been very apparent throughout all of this. But for the most part, these are murder mysteries. Holmes is kind of genius, and he takes you along the ride. I think that's what this is missing, is there's not a lot of flair to it. Castle's released very funny. Sherlock is very dramatic. So the reveals and the format, if nothing else, definitely take you through it. Whereas this Elementary, it's lost a lot of the pizzazz. Some of the lines are just kind of like, what the fuck? And the way that and I know Lucy Liu's a better actress than this, so she was told to deliver it that way. Some of the ways they are directed are very awkward. And then this version of Holmes, as all versions are, is awkward, but he's visually awkward. Miller actually has like these stances and these little outfits, and these little facial expressions. And they're very much, I don't give a fuck, but they're just kind of odd and funny. And for the American audience, because this is an American show, I don't see that catching on. I said a lot. I haven't talked specifically about any real episode. But we do see Lestrade towards the end of it. Seeing him come back is interesting. And they do something very funny with that ringtone. Oh, Moriarty. I did want to talk about this. I did not realize that she's in Game of Thrones. She's the Tyrell Queen. Tommel's wife now. She did such a good job as Moriarty. It actually, I think it puts her Tyrell to shame. If I'm being completely honest. I very much like this. I like her as Moriarty much better than I do in Game of Thrones. And she's excellent in Game of Thrones, don't get me wrong. But she steals the show when she shows up on Elementary. Which is interesting. I think they noticed that there was like a power vacuum when Moriarty leaves. Because in season 3, when they come back, Holmes actually has a protege. She's not a full partner yet. So she's still in training, and then she gets worked up to the partner status, which is actually interesting. Okay, yeah, she is in some of these. But they solve some very interesting stuff. There's a math puzzle hunt. It actually makes me kind of wish I could do one. I'm not that into math, but like I would programming puzzle hunt maybe. The most important one out of all these is they actually suspect an AI of murder. And just him going through the Turing test and playing with the AI like was really interesting. I could watch an entire show about that. In fact, Ex Machina is almost that. What are you, a ninja? So like that's something I'm gonna watch all the time, every time, and I'm not gonna get tired of it. I can watch robots falling over for 5 minutes. I can watch people talk and talk to AI for fucking ever. They had some very excellent writing though in this season. I really enjoyed it. The Nutmeg Concoction was another really good one. Part of Kitty, that's his assistant, his new project, is actually a young lady from England. Part of what makes her interesting too is that she's on a revenge mission. She was kidnapped, tortured, and raped. So there's always that kind of lurking in the background. And I think they rushed it. I think they should have kept it for season 4, but they ended up not closing the season because I'm not done yet. I don't remember what episode I'm pretty close to the end. Where are we at? Stitch in Time? No, hold on. Oh, everyone hires him. Okay, I didn't get there. T-Bone and Iceman? Wow, okay, I thought I was farther along in the season. We're kidnapping zebras later? Okay, so Illustrious Client is actually the start of the major story arc here. Key kind of goes bonkers. So at Hemlock, I think that's where that should probably basically be a new season. I wish they would do that. I wish they would at least do like season 3.5. Like when that story arc finishes, so you know exactly where it's at. Because I apparently have a couple more of these to go. Which is a shame because I really enjoyed Kitty. I think if you like Elementary or you want a reason to like Elementary again, I think she's it. She's kind of an anti-hero, so it really hurts things. I got one show I want to talk about before we get into Game of Thrones. Silicon Valley. If you're not watching Silicon Valley and you have HBO Now or HBO Go or HBO, watch it. It's a silly little show about programmers, and you don't need to know programming to get it, but it makes it even better if you are that world. They're basically some guys that want to get their app off the ground. You can relate to that as an entrepreneur, as a business launch, but they have to do things to make it happen. Thus far, it's come down to like needing the money to do it right, getting the money to do it right, and then trying to get through the effort and retain the money to do it right. And then like to the point where they are now, where they've actually the whole thing's supposed to be about doing this like shotgun court case to settle, technically out of court, binding arbitration, over the rights to Richard's app, because Hooli, like a dick, lied saying that they created it, stole it, reverse engineered it. I'm sorry, they didn't steal it directly. They stole the concept and then reverse engineered the concept based on the demo or whatever. So, and it comes down to like having used a Hulu computer one time, and there should be better statutes of limitations. It comes down to people who are writing these laws not knowing like what the weight of it is. So it's really hard to get that. But like the episode's still pretty funny. They actually like are considering Schrodinger a lot in it. If you're familiar with Big Bang Theory, they make a big deal of Schrodinger's cat. While the cat is inside with a thing of poison, the cat's both alive and dead until you open the box and make it definitive. So they convince one of the guys that like all his actions are determining these outcomes because he sought to answer questions. And last episode they lost a bunch of funding, so that, like, we're missing some of the characters that I hoped would stick around. But I'm really hoping this next episode, because the upcoming was really interesting, that they're bolstering enough success that they'll be able to bring them back for the next season. Because I think the next episode's the season finale. I could be wrong. Kitties are weird. So finally, let's take a minute and talk about Game of Thrones. Why? Fuck Stannis. Hashtag fuck Stannis. Hashtag no Stannis. Fucking cockbag. Oh, yeah, I can't for the life of me. Can't for the life of me, like, empathize with that at all. But I was talking to somebody on Twitter about it, and I really think what it's going to come down to is, like, 3 days later or whatever, she's basically going to be Jesus. She's going to rise again. She's either going to become like the Avatar light, or she's going to become like the fuel for something crazy. And when old Three Fingers gets back, him and Stannis are going to have it out. Either they're going to kill, like, one's going to kill the other, or the Three Fingers guy is going to kill the witch, and then Stannis is going to stab him in the back, and then the witch will be revived because she's a follower of the Lord of Light, and the Lord of Light is a healing god, as has been demonstrated. I'm pretty sure after this episode, they mentioned how she's not ready, but like Arya's gonna have to go into deep cover. She's gotten better about lying and pretending who she is. It's just how it is. Somebody asked her, like, "Oh, how much is your little clam?" And like, I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be bad." And sure enough, like, her trying to sneak into a brothel where someone's asking for young women, and sure enough, she's gonna have to go in deep cover as a horror for him, and she'll probably kill him. But that'll be the testament. Is her trainer will tell her to go through with it and not to kill him, and then she'll have the opportunity to kill him. And if she's Arya Stark at all, she'll do it. But then that'll be the end of her training, I'm sure. I'm sure that's how that'll work. But then she can go get Needle, and yay, they can be best friends again. I'd really like to see Arya come back. That's not going to happen this season. It's just not, because Sansa's having a bad time of it. But Ramsay, that fucker, he put a good rating on Stannis, and now I'm actually cheering for Ramsay. Let's just not cheer for anybody. That's what I'm saying. But I figured that's what he'd do. If he was going to assassinate Stannis, he was going to just wreck camp. So yeah, so that's the North. What else was there? Oh yeah, Jon makes it back to the wall with the wildlings. That one giant rolling through there. That's that. I'm sad because he seems like he's the last giant. And like, maybe I don't. I'm really hoping they can figure something out, and like, there's still life to the north, because with the White Walkers coming south, theoretically they're killing and picking up everything with them. And it's just going to hit like a tidal wave. What I am curious about is what killing that one White Walker did to the psychic control, because in theory he commanded some undead. So did the undead under his command fall when he went, or did somebody else pick up the slack, or is it just like everybody is contributing and you just are powering whoever you're nearby? Maybe that's what it is. But that's why I want a White Walker episode, so we can understand the world a little better, because the gods and the magic are starting to get to me, my friends. It's left a an ache in my brain about how the magic system doesn't make any sense. And it's will based, so it's like, oh, I will this to happen, I will this to happen, I will this to happen. And then it happens, or like it's deity magic and the gods intervene directly. Like the Lord of Light follower that was healed, that seemed like a deity resurrection. And good for him, but I don't know. Oh, Dorne, all the way to the south. Lots of good news all around. I was really actually kind of happy with that. The prince and little Cersei, I can't remember her name. Little Lannisters, they're happy together. I actually really like that they're happy together. I like that there's some kind of peaceful thing going on there. And I'm sorry that like everyone's pissed off. I actually didn't want the Viper to die either. I'm really afraid of what's going to happen when they finally res the mountain. But there's like, go ahead and hate them, but there's no reason to go to war with them. It's unnecessary. It's very unnecessary. And I'm all for the sand snakes. I actually kind of like them. Well, I like the one chick, the one that's kind of being ousted by her sisters, the one with the poison. I was really hoping Braun would try to take her with him, because that would be an interesting one to explain. And I have a feeling that just maybe she'll follow him, or she'll get assigned in as additional guard or something. Weirdo kitties. There was one other thing. There had to have been one other thing. Oh, yeah. Queen leaves her friends behind. That was really interesting. So I'm going to be very open to say that, like, I have not terribly enjoyed Daenerys for quite a few episodes now. She has come into the city and just mismanaged everything. They made a point of it. It's part of the story arc. But like, so she's not listening to people, and then she goes, well, maybe I should be listening to people. And she listens to people, and then it's just as bad, if not worse. And she's been mishandling the Harpies more than anything. And I didn't realize like they would have that great a number, that like you could exist in that great number and not have people know. But like, if you notice, that wasn't even like nobility killing the proletariats. It's nobility against poor and poor against nobility. It was literally like they were just slaughtering anybody who wasn't wearing a mask. It was like slaves and nobles alike. I don't understand why you want to fight to the death, why you want that so badly. Like, give them training weapons, have them fight to like for points or something. Like, I get that. Have competitions. That's great. That's good. But there's enough killing in the world without that nonsense. And maybe because they're outside Westeros, they don't get that. And be like, if you want to fight and you want to fight to the death, start training, show up, we'll build a new army and we'll take you to Westeros. That's what we need to do. This practice nonsense needs to get scuttled. Now that her big dragon's back, she needs to let the babies out of the basement. That was one of the saddest things. It's in my top 5 saddest things. I think Ygritte is definitely in the top, is the top one. But that makes my top 5. I know Needle's in there too, but oh man. But just that many people, it's like, you're so fucked. You did not plan this out. There was no point in trying to go across that field. You could have had better time barricading yourself in the that little room with some shields. Really, really just lots of dumb. And I don't know why the Harpies are so persistent at this point either. But like, if they ever had a chance, this was it. But the dragon shows up and starts flame throwing people, and I don't understand how he didn't get more of them, how there was enough people left to actually chuck spears into him, or why you would stop in the middle of that to pet him. while people are actively throwing spears at him after you had to pull one out. And maybe that was just enough respect to get on his back, which is weird too, because there's a bunch of like baby arm size things. So unless she's having a dildo, I don't understand what the fuck. People complain when there's like a spring in the car seat. That riding up you is not going to be any fun. Maybe you're into that, great, good for you, but I don't see that being the thing. And then what happens to everyone she left behind in the stadium? Did she come back to breathe fire at everybody? Like, I'm all for her getting command of the dragons and using the dragons. At this point, she really needs to be like, if you like, I give up. I give the sons of Harpy their city. Everyone who's a son of a Harpy, put your mask on, and I will walk out of this city, and I will take anyone who wants to come with me, as long as they leave their masks behind. And then you leave the thing, and then you just destroy the city. You turn it to dust, like they were talking about. And I don't know, because I was really convinced he was the leader of the Harpies for quite some time there. So I figured like they were in a good enough position where they wouldn't be as much of a bother anymore. But with him getting hit like that, I don't know. I just do not know anymore. Oh man, I'm getting tired. So I gotta watch that stuff. There's I don't want you to watch Edward Heller. I don't know how YouTube decides how these things get shared and shown. But I want a timer counter. Can you just put it in one of the corners? YouTube, thanks. But that's it for me. I gotta get this crap off because I'm tired of wearing it. I've got kitties to punch. But thank you for watching if you've been watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.